Hello, welcome to The Varied Life, and here's what we have. We have the Mandalorian himself. Printed this out. Okay, so now that we have our Grogu done, which I think turned out well, just added the details on there. I think it works out good. And so we even painted the base on there with extreme black, which was actually this stuff here, Max Darth. Kind of a fitting name for a Star Wars character. And now the next thing is this here. This is kind of interesting because there's so much going on, and actually what we're going to end up doing is taking a look at the picture we have here, giving us an idea of what we need to paint. So we see a lot of brown, especially on his cape. We see it on kind of a similar brown on his boots, but the largest thing that we're going to do is his cape. And I think what we're going to end up using is this oak brown for his cape, and I think that should work out well. If it doesn't, well, we'll make adjustments, and yeah, we can always start over. So what we'll do is we'll mix this up. This thing has been awesome. It's a great way to mix paint. Without having to shake it, that works really well. So what we'll end up doing, get a decent amount there. And you can always add in some colors, add in some water, kind of thin this out a little bit, but I think that's the kind of color that we want. And then what we'll do, you know how sturdy that's going to be. I only got 10% battery left, so we'll just go ahead and we'll start. And I guess what we'll end up doing is kind of this here. And with such a big brush, probably be worth going back with a detail brush to get these small, delicate areas that are close to other things. This is just going to be the first coat. So it turns out pretty good. Basically what I want to do is I want to work from the back to the front. So this is a large area. I'll paint that brown, and then any items like the rifle that are stacked on top, then we can always touch up, paint the rifle, and then we can do some minor touch-ups. Last thing you want to do is do the rifle first and then have to go back and do the brown on the cape and then get that on your rifle or other object that's in the foreground or what's up front. You know what I'm trying to say. Some detail work on this. I don't know, I gotta look and see, because the boots seem, well, see the cape's definitely a different color than the boots. So what I might end up doing, since the boots, see the cape's kind of like a darker brown and then the boots are lighter, and I think this lighter is kind of like what we see in the boots. So while this looks good, once we get all this detailed out and another coat put on to get those areas that need attention, what I think I'll end up doing is putting a wash to darken this up and fill in the recesses, and hopefully that will work out. I mean, I could leave it like this, but you can see on here where it's got the highlights on the cape, on the raised areas, and that's definitely something I want to do. And you can definitely see by the light how the light catches this. That's where you would want those highlights, and of course that would be a lighter brown. So the lighting that you use is kind of important, because you can, with the light coming down, you can kind of see where the light hits it and where you can actually do those highlights on those raised areas. That will be kind of a guide. So, alrighty. Well, we'll let this coat dry, and then what we'll end up doing is doing another coat to get that in there, because that's still rough as hell and there's still some areas there. But that's pretty much the cape for this session. All right, we'll continue on and get on the next layers. Okay, so now that we got basically the cape done, still need a little bit of drying on the inside, but a lot better. Definitely you can see some markings where the supports were at. I didn't get a real good sanding on those, but I don't know. I could go back and sand those down, redo it, but I think what I'll end up doing is just put some dark wash on there and hopefully it'll hide that. So, lesson learned. Now, we see kind of a similar brown on his boots. At least that's what we'll use on his boots, and maybe up into the thigh region as well. So let's go ahead and we'll give that a shot. Especially since we've got some paint left over. Kind of liberally put this on. From what we see in the picture, the bottom of the shoes have kind of like a silverish metallic part on them. So I think what we'll end up doing is we'll just kind of stick with that. We'll just get the instep and everything. This will take a couple of coats. And we'll probably end up doing a wash as well. And with Warhammer, they got that kind of that grim dark look, kind of a grim dirty look. I think that's what we're going to do here as well. Him being out in the desert for as long as he was, I don't think you're going to have pristine conditions for boots. So yeah, we'll get some grime on his boots. See a little tiny support on his boot right there. see. Might have to get that off. Let's see if I got something. Bobby pin. There it is, right there. Right, we're good. Let us continue. No, this is, it's an oak brown. It reminds me of Hershey's chocolate. Okay, so what I'll end up doing is letting that dry, start to come together, get a little bit of color into his life there. We're still gonna have to come up with some kind of like a tanned leather for the pouches, kind of like the pouches there, and his drop leg holster and the bag on his back. There's definitely a lot of a lighter leather look. And then the same thing with the rifle butt. You can see that's kind of the wood coloring there. And then for the wraps look like that's a lighter color as well. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll let this dry. And then we'll do some touch-up paint with this and get some of the other areas that I missed. I won't do that on video, but you get the general idea. And then we'll go on to the next step and see where we go from there. Can it be repairable or fixed? I don't know. I guess that's all we can do until this dries, and we'll see what that looks like. Alrighty. Sit him there. And Grogu to kind of prop him up a little bit. Maybe on this side. And we wait. Colors up and see what that would look like on a black base. That's not black. We do have a little bit of black here, so we could use this as our test swatch, I guess you could say. Grogu stand there and take a look and see how we're doing. So if I want that brown, we ended up using the oak brown. Which ended up being more like a Hershey's chocolate brown. And I want to try to darken that up. So I'll take a little bit of black. That automatic paint shaker is the bomb. of that there. Got some bubbles in it. All I'm doing is a bit of water. See if we can darken that up. That's definitely a darker brown. Maybe. No. Looks like dark chocolate. Maybe need to add some more. Get that a little more darkened up. I have to clean this paintbrush really good. I keep forgetting not to get it up towards that centerpiece right there where it gets to the metal. It's not a good thing to have or do. Let's see how that would look. It's a different color. Definitely different than the existing. I think that could work out. Just kind of run this over. See how that works. We could leave the... Yeah, I think that'll work a lot better. So we'll give it a little bit of a different color. Thinking that'll help. Even though it's not much of a different color. Yeah, that'll work. And then that will really make the armor pop. At least that's what I'm hoping. Again, I'm a noob to all this stuff. So if it sounds like I know what I'm talking about, guess again. So, I'll give it a little bit darker. Yeah, I think I like that a lot more. Yeah, I think that'll give a darker color, which I think will work.
So anyway, thanks for that. And if you learned anything or liked anything in this video, give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. And if you would, please subscribe to the channel. That will help out. And we will see you on the next video. Peace.